Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we are going to ask ourselves a question that might change the way you look at your Sunday mornings forever. Have you ever sat in a church, perhaps a bit tired, watching the priest at the altar, and wondered if there is more happening than what your eyes can see? We see the candles, the vestments, the bread, and the wine, but what if the veil between our world and the next was suddenly torn away? What if, for just one moment, you could see the reality that is hidden within the Holy Mass? Today, we are exploring the terrifying and beautiful mystery of the Mass through the eyes of Saint Padre Pio. This was a man who did not need to imagine the supernatural. He lived it. For Padre Pio, the Mass was not a ritual, and it was not a memorial service. It was a literal, physical return to Calvary. He saw the heavens rip open. He saw legions of angels trembling in awe. He spoke with the Blessed Mother at the foot of the altar. We are going to journey into the invisible world that this humble Capuchin friar witnessed every single day for over 50 years. We are going to try and understand why he said that if we truly knew what happened during the Mass, we would die of joy. To understand Padre Pio's Mass, we have to first understand how he viewed the world. For him, the spiritual world was more real than the stone floor he walked on, and nowhere was this reality more intense, more visceral than at the altar. Imagine for a moment that it is 1950. You are in San Giovanni Rotondo. It is still dark outside, perhaps 3 or 4 in the morning. The church is already packed. People have been waiting for hours, pressing against the doors, just to get a seat near the altar, because they knew that when Padre Pio said Mass, something shifted in the universe. When he walked out of the sacristy, a hush would fall over the crowd. It wasn't just quiet. It was a heavy, pregnant silence. Observers often noted that he didn't walk like a normal man. He walked as if he were carrying a crushing weight on his shoulders. His face was pale, his eyes fixed on something that no one else could see. For us, the Mass might last 45 minutes or an hour. For Padre Pio, a Mass could last 2, 3, or even 4 hours. And yet, no one left. No one complained, because everyone watching felt that they were witnessing a mystery unfolding in real time. Padre Pio taught that the Mass is not a reenactment. It is not a play where the priest acts out what Jesus did. He insisted that the Mass is the same sacrifice as the cross. It is the same act happening now. He said, the Mass is Christ on the cross. Think about the implications of that. It means that when we step into a church for the celebration of the Eucharist, we are stepping out of time. The clocks on the wall might keep ticking, but at the altar, time dissolves. We are transported back 2,000 years to a rocky hill outside Jerusalem. Padre Pio experienced this physically. As he began the prayers at the foot of the altar, his face would change. He wasn't just reciting Latin text. He was entering into the Garden of Gethsemane. Witnesses saw him begin to sweat, and often he would begin to weep. These weren't polite, silent tears. He would sob, his shoulders shaking, overwhelmed by a grief that seemed too big for one human heart. Why was he crying? Because he saw the sins of the world in the light of God's infinite holiness, which shines so brightly during the Mass. Even the smallest sin looks like a mountain of filth. He saw his own unworthiness, and he saw ours. He felt the sorrow of Christ in the garden, taking on the weight of every lie, every act of violence, every betrayal that you and I have ever committed. He once told a spiritual child, if you want to assist at Mass, you must join your heart to the heart of Jesus. He wasn't asking for attention. He was living out the theology of the Church. He was the victim priest. As the Mass progressed to the offertory, the moment where the bread and wine are offered to God, Padre Pio would often stand motionless for 10-20 minutes. His eyes would be filled with tears, staring at the crucifix. What was happening in that silence? He revealed later that during this time, he was collecting the prayers and the sufferings of everyone in the church, everyone who had written to him, everyone he had promised to pray for, and he was placing them physically into the chalice. He saw our needs not as abstract concepts, but as tangible burdens that he had to lift up to the Father. But the true climax, the moment where the invisible world fully erupted into the visible, was the consecration. This is the moment the priest speaks the words of Christ. "This is my body. This is my blood." For Padre Pio, this was the moment of crucifixion. He was asked once, "Father, surely you don't suffer during the whole Mass?" He replied, "You are mistaken. The suffering is constant, but it reaches its peak at the consecration." Those who watched him closely during the elevation of the host saw something frightening. His hands, pierced by the stigmata, the miraculous wounds of Christ, would bleed more profusely. The fresh blood would often run down his palms. His face would contort in agony, mirroring the face of a man dying on a cross. His body temperature would rise to impossible fevers. He was physically reliving the Passion. Why? Because he saw that the priest disappears. At that moment, it is Jesus Christ standing there. Padre Pio said that during the consecration, a new creation takes place. But he didn't just see the suffering Christ. This is where his vision becomes truly overwhelming for us to comprehend. He saw the entire court of heaven descend into the sanctuary. We often think of the church as being empty, or just filled with the people sitting in the pews. But Padre Pio saw the sanctuary packed with invisible beings. He said, "The angels around the altar are countless. They do not sing, they tremble." Think about that image. Angels, beings of immense power and light, the seraphim who burn with love before the throne of God. They are trembling. Why? Because they see the infinite God humbling himself to become a piece of bread. They are struck dumb by the humility of God. Padre Pio once scolded a person who was looking around, distracted during the Mass. He said, "If God had not given you eyelids, you would go blind looking at the glory of the angels around the altar." He specifically mentioned the guardian angels. He taught that when we go to Mass, our guardian angels go with us, but they don't just sit beside us. When the offering is made, the angels take our prayers and our love and carry them to the altar to mix them with the sacrifice of Christ. He saw a constant traffic of light, ascending and descending, a ladder between heaven and earth, right there in the sanctuary. And among the angels there was one figure who was always present, always visible to his mystical gaze, the Blessed Virgin Mary. Padre Pio had a tender, childlike love for Mary, whom he called his little mama, but at the Mass, he saw her as the Mother of Sorrows. He said she was always present at the altar, just as she was present at the foot of the cross on Good Friday. He was asked, "Where does the Madonna stand during the Mass?" Padre Pio answered, "She is at the foot of the altar, but often she is at the side of the priest, offering the chalice with him." This is a profound theological insight. It reminds us that Mary is not a spectator. She offered her Son to the Father for our salvation. Padre Pio saw her there, in silent adoration and sorrow, uniting her heart with the heart of her Son. He told his spiritual children, "If you want to know how to attend Mass, look at the Madonna. Imitate her silence. Imitate her tears." He even saw the souls in Purgatory. During the memento for the dead, Padre Pio would pause for a long time. He was gazing into that place of purification. He saw the souls of the departed crowding around the altar, begging for a drop of the precious blood to cool their burning desire for God. He would often startle people by telling them later, "Your father was at Mass today," or "We must pray more for your aunt. She is waiting." So, we have this image of the Mass through Padre Pio's eyes. The roof of the church opens up. The Holy Trinity is present. The angels are bowing down in thousands. The saints are gathered. The souls in Purgatory are waiting. And in the center of it all, the Lamb of God is being sacrificed for the love of you and me. It is a scene of cosmic proportions, happening in every parish church, every single day. And yet, we often sit there checking our watches, wondering when we can go get coffee. Padre Pio's vision challenges us. It shakes us awake, he said. The world could exist more easily without the Son than without the Holy Mass. He meant that quite literally. He believed that the Mass releases a power that holds the universe together. It holds back the justice of God. It brings down mercy upon a sinful world. Without the Mass, he believed the weight of our sins would have crushed the world long ago. Now, you might be thinking, this is amazing, but I'm not a mystic. I don't see angels. I don't see the Virgin Mary. How does this help me? That is exactly why these stories were preserved. We are not expected to see what Padre Pio saw. He was given these visions not for his own benefit, but for ours. He is a witness. He is like a scout who has gone to the top of the mountain and come back to tell us, "You cannot imagine the view. Believe me, it is real." We are called to attend Mass with faith, relying on the testimony of saints like Pio. So, how should we attend Mass if we follow his guidance? First, Padre Pio insisted on punctuality and preparation. He would wake up hours before Mass to prepare his soul. He said we cannot rush in from the noise of the world and expect to encounter God immediately. We need silence. We need to arrive early, kneel down, and shake off the dust of the world. Second, he taught us to bring our own cross. He said, in the Mass, we must not just be spectators. We must be victims with the victim. This sounds intense, but it is the heart of Christianity. It means that when the priest offers the bread, we should place our own hearts on the paten. We should say, "Lord, here is my anxiety. Here is my sickness. Here is my broken relationship. I offer it to be crucified with you." Padre Pio promised that if we do this, our suffering is transformed. It becomes redemptive. It becomes valuable. Third, he urged us to have a holy fear, not a fear of being punished, but the fear of love, the awe that comes from realizing you are in the presence of the King of Kings. He detested casualness in church. He couldn't stand it when people talked or whispered during the liturgy. To him, it was like chatting while someone was dying for you just a few feet away. He once said, "Every holy Mass, heard with devotion, produces in our souls marvelous effects, abundant spiritual and material graces, which we ourselves do not know." He often spoke about the communion, the moment we receive the Eucharist. For him, this was the moment of total fusion. He said that when we receive Jesus, we should not just swallow the host and leave. We should spend time in thanksgiving. He would remain in the church for a long time after Mass, making his thanksgiving. He said, "The minutes after communion are the most precious time in our lives. It is the time to ask God for graces, for he cannot refuse us anything when he is physically within us." Let's go back to that image of the bleeding friar at the altar. Many times, as the Mass ended, Padre Pio would look exhausted, aged by decades in the span of a few hours. He had been to war. He had wrestled with the devil, who often tried to distract or attack him during the liturgy, and he had wrestled with God for the souls of his children. There is a beautiful story of a man who came to San Giovanni Rotondo, a skeptic, dragged there by his wife. He watched Padre Pio say Mass. He watched the intensity, the tears, the way the Father stared at the host, and suddenly, the skeptic began to weep. He didn't see an angel, but he saw the truth reflected in Padre Pio's face. He realized that God was real. He realized that he was loved. That is the power of the invisible world hidden in the Mass. It is the power of love. Padre Pio said, "If we only knew how God regards this sacrifice, we would risk our lives to be present at a single Mass." We have to ask ourselves, do we believe this? When we walk into our churches next Sunday, will we see just a priest and a table? Or will we close our eyes and see what Padre Pio saw? Will we sense the trembling of the angels? Will we feel the presence of Mary? Will we understand that we are standing at the foot of the cross? The mystery is there, whether we see it or not. The reality does not depend on our feelings. The blood is poured out. The heaven is open. The only question is whether we will open our hearts to receive it. Padre Pio's life is an invitation. He is inviting us to stop living on the surface. He is inviting us to dive deep into the ocean of the Eucharist. He wants us to know that we are never alone at Mass. We are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses. We are held in the hands of God. Let us take his teachings to heart. Let us resolve to never attend Mass the same way again. Let us go with the intention to stand on Calvary. Let us go to meet our Mother. Let us go to be healed. Because if Padre Pio is right, and the Church says he is, then the Holy Mass is the greatest treasure we possess on this earth. It is the secret of life. It is the key to heaven. Thank you for listening. May the intercession of Saint Padre Pio guide you to a deeper love for the Holy Eucharist. God bless you all.